Welcome, everyone. In this session, I'll explore the transformative power of holistic patching in bolstering the security posture of enterprise manager system. So, by addressing the vulnerabilities across critical components in the OEM or enterprise manager, such as WebLogic, OHS, and JDK, etc., organizations can mitigate the risk of security breaches and enhance overall risk management practice by applying the CPU patches released by Oracle. So here in this session, I'll talk about the holistic patching approach to solve or to keep your or improve your security posture with Enterprise Manager. So this is the agenda for today's session. So it covers four main topics. The first one, we will review the CPU rollout challenges. And second, we will also help you to understand and talks about what is holistic patching and overview of holistic patching solution we have introduced to improve your security posture and applying how to effectively apply the CPU patches with ease, which will also help you to minimize the downtime and also help you to reduce the complexities around the CPU patching for Enterprise Manager. And third, we'll also help you to get started of using holistic patching in three simple steps. And finally, we will review the value add of using holistic patching. So talking about the CPU patches, right? So Oracle releases CPU patches on a quarterly basis across all the products. And for Enterprise Manager, we also publish a MOS note that talks about different CPU patches for different components in Enterprise Manager. And the CPU document provides the detailed information about the security, the severity of the vulnerabilities, impacted components, etc. And all these are publicly available on the MOS node. So what are the CPU challenges when it comes to applying in the context of Enterprise Manager? So organizations managing complex infrastructure, the process of applying critical security patches can be always loaded with challenges. So, for example, from navigating complex patching processes to grappling with CPU patch sprawl and operational overhead. So always the road to securing the system can be paved with a lot of obstacles. So one of the key challenges faced by organizations is the complexity of the patching process, which often leads to delay in deploying the critical security patches. So what I've seen in many of the customer environments or internally also, this delay leaves systems vulnerable to exploitation and increases the risk of security breaches. Also, the lack of single bundle patch that embeds all the required component patches, coupled with also the JDK update, further complicates the patching landscape, right? Because the CPU patches for Enterprise Manager, Oracle releases across the product, and for Enterprise Manager, there are a lot of components that it embeds, like OHS, JDK, OPSs, and so on. So applying individual patches on Enterprise Manager, it's a very time-consuming task. Moreover, the operational overhead associated with the patch management can be also significant, with administrators spending a bulk of their time figuring out the required patches for Enterprise Manager and its components. And also the other challenge is inadequate patch management tools, such as like you have to use OPatch for applying the CPU patches, and also you have to use OMS Patcher for applying the release updates, only worsen the challenges, right? And also from a compliance and audit perspective, failure to maintain up-to-date patch levels and JDK updates can always result in compliance violations and audit finding, which potentially lead to reputational damages. And also the delay or error in patching deployment further escalate the risk of leaving the system exposed to known vulnerabilities and also likelihood of security breaches. So these are some of the challenges with respect to applying in the context of Enterprise Manager. So we will explore these patching challenges in the context of Enterprise Manager and also discuss the strategies for overcoming them, like how we are going to resolve these challenges in the context of holistic patching as a solution for applying the CPU patches for Enterprise Manager. So holistic patching, so what it means, how it will help you to streamline your security updates. So holistic patching facilitated by the Stack Patch Bundle, we call it as SPB, offers a comprehensive solution for efficiently managing security updates for Enterprise Manager and its component. So SPB consolidates critical components in Enterprise Manager, so such as the OHS, OPSS, WebLogic, JDK, etc., which will help you to streamline the patching process through the OMS Patcher utility. So here, if you see the holistic patching approach, what we have done is we are allowing you to apply the security patches and also the release update using the single OMS patcher utility. So that's why we have unified the approach of applying the stack patches, which we call it as the CPU patches, and the release update using a single utility, which will help you to streamline your entire patching process. So by orchestrating the application of the SPB, which is a stack patch bundle, through the OMS patcher, organizations can mitigate the security risk effectively. And also, the stack patch bundle ensures that the JDK inside the OMS home is updated to comply with the latest certified version, enhancing the overall security and stability of Enterprise Manager. And also, holistic patching helps to reduce the maintenance window by consolidating patching activities into a single downtime window. And also, holistic patching streamlines the approach, minimizes the downtime, and also ensures timely release updates, meaning you have the system and environment pre-checks are performed once, optimizing the overall patching process, and it helps you to reduce the apply time. So this is at a high level, the holistic view of the holistic patching, like how it is combining all the patches into one stack patch bundle, and how it is helping you to download a single patch for a given CPU cycle, and how it is orchestrated through the OMS patcher utility. So the diagram on the right side depicts that it's one bundle which is embedding all the stack component patches for Enterprise Manager. So from the Enterprise Manager side, we will ensure that the single stack patch bundle that we release for a given CPU cycle is containing all the required security patches in it, which is released by Oracle, meaning it's our responsibility to make sure we are bundling all the patches which are required to be there for a given CPU cycle, and we'll make sure there are no components missed in a given CPU cycle when we bundle the single stack patch for a given CPU cycle. So that's an overview about the holistic patching. Moving on, here is an update on the April CPU, which we have it as a current one. So we have specifically we have a specific MOS node that talks about the CPU patches required for EM component. So this is just a snippet. And here, if you see for April CPU, we have already released the holistic patch for Enterprise Manager. And you can see from this MOS node that there is only a single patch, all you need to download for applying the April CPU on top of Enterprise Manager. So this single patch contains all the stack patch components in it. So for an end customer, all they need to do is just go and download this single patch if they want to apply the April CPU in their Enterprise Manager system. And this snippet on the bottom shows that these are all the various CPU patches available for different components that we use within OEM. And these are all some of the affected CVE numbers which Oracle publishes, and we have also put in our EM MOS note. So this is just a high-level overview and a snippet of what we have for the April CPU holistic patch. So having said that, so I talked about the holistic patching solution and also talked about the CPU challenges. So there are two things here. Either there are multiple component stack patches that you can pick individually and apply them, which will take a lot of time. And there is a holistic patching. So it's always a choice for you to which one you would prefer to use if you want to really minimize the downtime and improve the security posture. So the way to go moving forward is to consume or go about applying the holistic patch for a given CPU cycle, which from EM side, we release the single patch, which will help you to streamline your security updates. And also it will help you to keep up with the CPU cycle released by Oracle. So the preferred way for customers is to go about applying the holistic patch, which uses a stack patch bundle if you want to keep up with the CPU patches. So an overview about what is holistic patching, if you look at behind the scene, how it is orchestrated through the OMS patcher utility. So like I said, it's a single stack patch bundle which embeds all the component patches in it, and it is orchestrated by OMS patcher. So OMS patcher has been made in such a way that it understands that it has to apply both stack patches, meaning it'll understand that if a parameter is passed, it will go and apply the CPU patches. And if the parameter is not passed, then it will go and apply the regular release update. So those are the two config switches that has been updated within OMS patcher to understand that the given patch is a stack patch bundle. So it will go and call the relevant parameters to apply those. And if the parameters are not passed, then it will go and do the release update. And that parameter is called that -SPB patch. So we are calling this stack patch bundle patch. This is the new parameter that we added to the OMS patcher utility, which will go and understand, okay, the given patch location is a stack patch bundle, so it will go and execute the respective flow. So the detailed flow is there in the further slides. So these are some of the new parameters we have introduced with the holistic patching. So since we are orchestrating the entire patching through the OMS patcher, we want to introduce new parameters to identify that the given patch or the location that has been provided to the OMS patcher, we have to identify with some parameters so that we can seamlessly execute those, read those patch location and can execute seamlessly. So for the OMS patcher, we have enabled the analyze. So if you pass -SPB patch -analyze, the analyze will go and execute all the pre-checks. It will check for conflicts and it will report if there are any errors. It will report. And if you want to apply the holistic patch, all you need to do is you just call the OMS patcher, apply with the patch location, and then you just need to pass -SPB patch. So this parameter will indicate the OMS patches that the incoming patch is an SPB patch. So it has to go and execute that routine to get the patch applied in EM, and it has to go and update all the components with the patches in it. And we also support the silent way. Like if you don't do an interactive way, then you can use a response file and pass the silent option, which will execute the stack patch bundle, or which will execute this holistic patch. And also there is one more parameter where you can pass -JDK update. So the other beauty of the holistic patch is that we will also update the JDK inside the OMS home, because if you have done, I believe you would have done a lot of manual CPU cycles in the past. So we always tell from the CPU patching perspective that you need to update the JDK, and then you need to go and update all the component patches. So there is a tight dependency that you have to be on a certain JDK version if you want to consume a particular CPU cycle, and if you want to apply the CPU patches within OEM. So with the holistic patching approach, we have taken care of that, where we will update the JDK, and along with that, we will also update the stack component patches. So why this explicit JDK update flag is that on AX platform, because the JDK is from IBM, so we didn't have any. It's not that we didn't have any control, but we want to keep it outside of our holistic patch. So that's why if you're running OMS on AX platform, then you have to pass that -JDK location so that the OMS patcher along with the stack patch bundle, it will also update the JDK. And this hyphen JDK is explicitly only for the OMS if it is running on AX. Otherwise, you don't need to pass the JDK because the JDK, like I said, for the other Unix flavors, the JDK is part of the stack patch bundle, and we update as part of the holistic patching approach using the OMS patcher utility. So that's one change with respect to AX. And we also support the rollback. So rollback is like any other rollback operation for a given patch. You just need to pass -SPB patch, which will understand that it has to roll back the stack patch bundle. So these are some of the different parameters or the new parameters we have introduced, and it's also available in our documentation. And also we have updating. I mean, we have updated our README to reflect all these commands as part of the holistic patch README thing. So now let's look at how to get started with holistic patch. So if you have not applied the April CPU, and if you're planning to apply, I would say holistic patch is the best way to do it, and it's a very simple three-step process in order to apply the holistic patch in your environment. So the first thing is the analyze, which anyways you will do for a given patch, that you always analyze to make sure your environment is conflict free, and also there are no prereq errors if you want to go ahead and apply the given patch. And the second step is to apply the holistic patch, and then the third one is to verify whether the patch is properly registered in the inventory or not. So let's look at the analyze phase. So like I said, the analyze, it does the patch analysis to make sure there are no patch conflicts or there are no prereq errors. And also it'll do all the validations, the system validations, to ensure that your stack patch bundle or the holistic patch can be seamlessly applied without any errors. So we are using the analyze as it is, that you might be already using it with OMS patcher. It's just that you need to pass a new parameter like -SPB patch -analyze. So the analyze command will execute for the given stack patch bundle, and then it will report any error if there are any errors. So on the right side, you can see a snippet of the screenshot where the analysis is completed for the given CPU patch. So this is a patch from an April CPU. So I've just taken a screenshot and showing it here. The next phase is the apply phase. So here in the apply phase, here on the top, you can see the flowchart, which talks about how the apply is orchestrated through the OMS patcher utility. So as a first parameter, you will be applying you'll be calling the OMS patcher with -SPB patch. So when you call OMS patcher, apply with the patch location, and when passing -SPB patch, it'll internally it'll internally go and check whether the JDK, it'll do the first JDK validation and update. So if the JDK requires to be updated, then it'll go and stop the OMS. So like I said, the JDK is now bundled as part of the holistic patch. So it'll go and validate the JDK, and it'll check whether update is required or not. If the update is required, then it'll go and stop the OMS, and then it'll update the JDK. Meaning it'll just move the JDK in the Oracle common directory, and then it'll replace with the JDK that is bundled as part of the patch. And then once the JDK update is complete, then it'll go and check whether the OPatch update is required or not. So why we are checking the OPatch update is required or not is that the stack patch bundle here, even though we are orchestrating through the OMS patcher, the OMS patcher is going to internally call the OPatch and apply. So because that's how it is being orchestrated to apply all the stack component patches. So underlying, we are using the OPatch, and we have to make sure the OPatch is of the required version that is expected by the CPU for a given CPU patch. So that's why after the JDK update is done, we are going and checking whether the OPatch inside the OMS home is of the correct version or not, in order for us to proceed with OPatch and apply. So after the JDK update is done, we validate whether the OPatch requires an update or not. If the OPatch requires an update, then we will go and update the OPatch. And if the OPatch is already updated outside of this patching window, then we skip that and then we go to the patch prereqs. So imagine if the OPatch update is required, then it will go and update the OPatch. And once the OPatch is updated, then it will run the patch prereq checks. And if there are any conflicts or anything, it'll return error. If there are no patch prereq errors, then it will go and execute the complete stop of the OMS, and then it will apply the patches using OPatch and apply. And then once the patches are applied, then it will start the OMS. At the end, if it has detected that it's a multi-OMS environment, then what we do is we generate the scripts, like for each of the additional OMS that are there, we just generate the scripts, and you just need to execute the script in order to complete the patching on the additional OMSs. And that completes the patching if it is a multi-OMS environment. Otherwise, if it's a single OMS, we only start the OMS at the end of the patching. So this is an overview of the apply process. And on the next slide, this is just giving you a snippet of how the apply process is triggered and what are all the inputs it asks. So here, the JDK is updated, or example, if you have updated the JDK outside of this holistic patching, like example, for some reason you updated, then the OMS patcher will check the JDK and then it will skip it. Like how we check the OPatch and skip. The similar way, if the JDK is updated outside the holistic patching, meaning you have downloaded manually and then you updated inside the Oracle Home, then it gets skipped. Otherwise, we update it. And then in case of a multi-OMS, we generate the scripts. You just need to copy the scripts and then execute on the additional OMS nodes in order to complete the patching on the additional OMSs. And the other thing, on Windows, we stop the central agent as part of the patching. And then at the end of patching, we also start the central agent by ourselves. So this is a change in the Windows. On Linux, we don't stop the central agent, but on Windows, we stop the central agent, and then at the end of patching, we only start the agent. So this is at a high level, an overview of the apply process. The final is about how you can verify, which is using the OMS patcher, LS patches, to make sure the patch is properly registered in the inventory, which will ensure that your holistic patching got applied successfully, and it's also reflecting on the inventory for you to verify and proceed with the next steps. So if you want to repeat this for our next cycle, for example, now that we already released April CPU, and if you want to, we are going to come up with the July CPU cycle. So if you want to apply the next or further CPU cycles, then all you need to do is just repeat this process, meaning do the analysis, and once the analysis is complete, then go for the apply, and then you can go for the verification process. So along with that, you can also combine it, meaning if you want to apply the release update and the holistic patching in a single window, then you can do that as well to minimize the overall downtime for your patching operation. So these are some of the benefits I would like to highlight, because holistic patching, what we introduced as part of the April CPU cycle, is a solution that offers a comprehensive approach to security maintenance with enterprise manager system. And it also helps you to address vulnerabilities across critical components within OEM, mainly the OHS, WebLogic, OSS, and JDK, and so on, where holistic patching ensures comprehensive security coverage, and it will help you to significantly reduces the security risk and help you to avoid security breaches. And furthermore, the consolidation of the patches into a single patch bundle for a quarterly CPU cycle helps you to streamline the patching process, and also it helps you to reduce the complexity and minimizes the downtime, and also improves the efficiency of your patching process overall. So this is I mean, key benefit is to ensure that you are always staying on top of the CPU patches released by Oracle, and also help you to minimize the effort in applying it. That's the key point that we want to highlight here, because in the past, you would have applied the CPU patches by downloading. There were close to 14, 15 patches you have to download manually and apply them individually using opatch command. So that key thing, we want to reduce it, and that's why we have released this holistic patching, which will help you to streamline your patching process. All you need to do is, like I said, just download the single patch and just run the apply. And we will take care of um, extracting the patches for different components, and we will go and orchestrate the patching and update the components with the CPU patches. So that's the key thing I just want to highlight, and the value add of using the holistic patch, which will help you to improve your security posture and help you with minimizing the downtime for your overall patching process. So with that, these are some of the resources I like to highlight. There is a blog on holistic patching. There's a documentation update on holistic patching, and there's a Moss note which has been written, which has the FAQ on what is holistic patching and what are all the. I mean, till now we have seen a couple of updates and scenarios. So all those things and most frequently asked questions from customers is also updated in that Moss node, which you can review and get answers to it. And if there are anything more, then we can help you to answer in the Q&A section. With this, this is the end of the slide. So thank you all for joining. So
there's a couple questions, Sumesh.
Yeah, sure, Catherine.
I think someone is wanting your email address. So Vipul Kumar, we will reach out to you. Sumesh, I can get you that information. And then Carl wanted to know, he had one other question. Number one, always apply the holistic patches after the latest RU, or apply the latest RU, then the holistic patches?
I think it's the latest RU and then the holistic patch. I think we have a check. Like example, if you want to apply April CPU, then April CPU holistic patch. I think we always tell that you need to be at least an RU21. Otherwise, when you try to apply the holistic patch without that RU, we throw an error saying that you need to be applying the latest RU or RU21 or later in order to apply the April CPU. So the order is RU first and then the CPU patch or the holistic patch.
And then there's another question. Can you see it? Or let's see, where is it? The last question is, sorry, looks like someone else already answered it. So we still have a few minutes. If you'd like to ask some questions, by all means, please raise your hand or ask away on Q&A.
Sure. I think we have development also on the call. So anything you would like to add, Shilpa, from your perspective or from the questions you would like to give an overview or update or?
No, I think you covered all the points, Sumesh. There was a couple of questions regarding the OPatch update as well as the JDK update, right? Which I answered already. So we cannot roll back. When we are rolling back the holistic patch, you won't be able to roll back the OPatch. And if you want to apply the OPatch outside the holistic patch, you can, but it will be like an additional step, right? So the behavior of the OPatch is, even if you apply outside the holistic patch, you won't be able to roll back, right? So that's why we are also not rolling it back, even if you're rolling back the holistic patch.
Yeah, thank you, Shilpa. But JDK, we can give them where we are backing up the JDK so that in case if they want to put it back, the old JDK, that is possible, right, Shilpa? Like in case if they want to move back to the older JDK, so we can give them the location where we were backing up. so that you
Yeah,
can put
yeah,
back your old JDK and bring up the owners.
yeah,
And there's
yeah,
one
great.
more request to talk a little bit more about the holistic patches and clustering. So do you have anything additional you'd like to share or maybe go into a little more detail?
Sure. Uh, it's a question about the holistic patch and
It says,
clustering.
can you talk about the holistic patches and clustering?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what is clustering here in the context of holistic patching, but holistic patching is just a consolidation of all the stack patch bundle that we used to release for Enterprise Manager, individual patches for Enterprise Manager components. So that what we are doing is we are consolidating that and putting into a single bundle. So earlier, if you have applied the CPU patches, you have to download, like I said, individual patches for individual components like OHS, WebLogic, OPSS, and so on. Now with holistic patching approach, we have just consolidated into a single patch bundle. So it's a single patch. All you need to do is just go to the MOS, download the single patch, and just apply. And we, like I said, we will take care of applying the individual patches into. I mean, we will take care of applying the stack component patches as part of the holistic patch bundle. Meaning, the holistic patch bundle contains multiple patches in it. So when you apply using OMS Patcher will make sure it goes and applies. It will pick the component patch and apply on that component, and then it will move on to the next components, and then it will just complete the flow. So this is what we are doing as part of the holistic patching approach. So clustering, I'm not sure what it means.
I
Maybe
think Sumesh, the clustering mean, I think he responded again. Clustering mean, I think they're talking about like a multi-OMS setup. So
okay.
yeah,
You want to answer or you want to update or anything there, Sherpa?
I just updated in the chat only that we are applying in the rolling manner, right? So it's not a
Right.
complete downtime. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, well, here's another question. Oh, no, that was a thank you. So at this time, we don't have any additional questions. And for that, I want to thank you for your time joining this call. By all means, please register for the upcoming sessions. And if you need anything further, please reach out to the Ent Manager account. Thank you for your time today. And Sumesh, thanks for a great session. That concludes our call for today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.